Everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. Crucial communication skills. If there's one thing everyone needs to learn to do well, it's how to communicate more effectively with others. Whether it's with family, friends, at work, with colleagues, your supervisor, in an interview, with a date, with your spouse, your parents, your kids, we communicate all day, every day, and most of us are just winging it. No one teaches this in schools, and we don't usually learn it at home. In fact, what most of us learn at home is not healthy at all. We'll address the most common communication mistakes in the next video, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified when that one comes out. This video will give you the nuts and bolts of communication skills that I teach to clients in individual sessions, family work, couples sessions, groups, and even multifamily groups. The first step is I feel. The first step in communicating is to express how you feel. But in order to do this, you need to understand and identify how you feel. If you have a hard time with this, you're not alone. Many of us don't really know how we feel, and we have a go-to feeling that we use to cover up all of the other ones. For many, they cover every other emotion with anger. If they're sad, they act angry. If they're scared, they act angry. If they're anxious or tired or hungry, you name it, they act angry. So for this person, they really need to look below the anger and get to the underlying emotions that they're burying with the anger. They need to learn to say, I'm feeling sad or scared or tired, etc. For others, they act sad. Whether they're angry or scared or tired or disappointed, they're always sad and they always cry rather than tell others, I'm angry. I've also noticed a lot these days that people will constantly say that they're anxious. This turns into a chronic emotion and often results in even asking doctors for medications for their anxiety. Of course, anxiety is a real disorder, so I'm not lumping all of this in there. But I've had many clients who have a lot of anxiety who are actually covering all of their other uncomfortable emotions with that word. They're really angry or frustrated or stressed or exhausted or sad, but they constantly say they're anxious. I've literally seen clients realize they're not really anxious, but actually angry about a number of boundary violations going on in their own home. And once they acknowledged this, talked about it, and set boundaries, they felt no more anxiety. When they felt angry, they identified it, talked about it, felt empowered, strong, and calm. So you can see that this first step is to start finding your true emotions and being able to express them. If you tend towards one emotion, challenge yourself to see that we all feel the entire range. It's just not possible that you're only just feeling one. When you find the underlying emotions that you're covering, ask yourself why you don't allow yourself those. Do you shame yourself for anger or for sadness or for stress? Then challenge yourself to be more true to all of your emotions. So this first crucial step, as you can see, is just to simply state how you feel. You're not accusing the other person of making you feel that way, and you're not telling them they have to fix it. You're simply stating, I feel, okay? Number 2, I wish. This next step is where you get to identify and own how you wish things were in this relationship with the other person. What do you want? Not a new Corvette. This is really what you want in this relationship, in this moment. So many times, two people will actually want the same things. They want to resolve the work hassle. They want to find ways to manage their work more effectively and efficiently. They want to feel closer in their relationship again. They want to get along better, resolve a family conflict, feel happier, feel more secure. When you identify and say what you want, you're essentially giving the other person the information they need. Otherwise, you're really leaving them in the dark. Whether this is a friend, a coworker, or your partner, if you don't state what you wish, you can't expect them to read your mind. And yet, this is another huge gaping crevasse in most people's communication skills. So often when you simply state what you want, the other person will say, great, that's what I want too. Or they may say, I didn't know that, let's work through this. Or maybe even, that's not going to work for me, but then you know. This wish is not a demand, it's not a requirement, it's not even a boundary. We'll get to that one. It's a wish, and the other person can respond any way they want to. If they want to honor that wish, that's awesome. If not, that's really helpful information for you as you decide how you want to move forward in this relationship. Number 3, I'm willing to. This is where you put yourself forward and offer to do the things you know you need to do in this relationship to improve it. This often comes as a solution or many solutions, and it may be a great surprise to the other person. It's often a reconnector and a great relief. This is you being willing to be giving, thoughtful, responsible, reciprocal. You need to be very honest and say only what you're really willing to do. Don't offer more than what you're truly going to do. These solutions may or may not help resolve the issue, but your willingness alone brings a reciprocity to the entire interaction, and it often brings a sense of connected calm to the communication. Number 4, this brings us to the last piece, and my boundaries are. Boundaries are how I take care of myself in the relationship with another person. These often get confused with ultimatums and demands and other twisted manipulations, so we have to be careful here. You can state this in different ways, but it's the limits to which you are willing to go to. Boundaries are only what you can do in this relationship. You can't control the other person, but you can decide whether and to what extent you will stay in the relationship with this person. This will be clearer as we go through the examples. So here's some examples. Number 1, I'm talking to my teenage son. We've been struggling lately and I'm getting scared of the direction he's heading. When we try to talk, it just spins out. So as it seems to be starting to spin up again, I'm standing in his room feeling like this is heading down that same path. I stop. I sit down and I calmly say, I'm feeling really scared and sad that we're having such trouble communicating lately. I wish we could talk about getting spun out. I wish we could talk without getting spun out. And I wish you were taking better care of yourself. I'm willing to sit here and listen as long as it takes for us to sort things out. Whatever you have to say, I'll listen. My boundary is that I don't want you going out tonight until we can talk this through and figure out what's going on. Second example is with your partner. I'm feeling really confused and sad that you've been so distant lately. I wish you would tell me what's going on. You seem so angry or upset or something, but I don't know what you're thinking or feeling. I'm willing to hear whatever you have to say, however uncomfortable it is for us to talk about. It's better for me to hear what you're upset about rather than me making it up. In this instance, no boundary. And another one, an example at work as a supervisor. I'm really concerned about the buildup of your paperwork, and you're also getting really behind in your calls. I wish you would find ways to get and stay more organized, and I'm willing to offer my support, any strategies we can brainstorm, and if you can identify what other support you need to get yourself on top of your job responsibilities, I'm willing to hear it and support you in finding solutions. But I need to let you know, my boundary, that if we are having the same conversation a month from now, I will need to write you up. Another example with my boss. I'm feeling overwhelmed and buried. I've tried to reorganize, rework, compartmentalize, and have also just tried to plow through, but this position, with how much we've grown and how many aspects of this job there are to keep track of, it's just becoming way too much. I wish we could sort out a way to delegate some of these responsibilities to others or hire others who would be able to handle these pieces. I'm willing to keep working at it to sort it out. And I'm also going to keep letting you know how I'm doing so that I don't get to a place of burnout. But ultimately, my boundary, I have to take care of myself. So I can't keep going this way forever. I love my job and I don't want to quit, but I need you to know how overwhelmed I am. As you can see, the framework stays the same and the wording is adjusted to be natural and to fit the situation. When you identify your emotions, state them, own them, then express your wish, your willingnesses, your boundaries, if you have any, you can get to a better place with the person you're needing to communicate with. Each of the above examples are real, and each one worked out really well. In the moments, I struggled to go to the framework, as it is easy just to ramble and wing it. But going to the framework kept these hard conversations on track, clear, clean, and calm. My son and I talked for 2 hours that night, and I realized he needed more time and attention than I'd been giving him since starting a new, very hectic job. My husband and I talked about a misunderstanding we'd had, and we both learned about what was going on for the other person, and we really grew as a couple. I eventually let that employee go, but when I did so, she responded with, "You've been more than fair, and you're completely right to call it." My boss elevated another employee so we could delegate, and we had many years of working together very effectively. Each resolved rather than spinning out, and in each situation I felt heard, and I was also able to hear what was going on with the other person. Of course, things don't always go so well, but when you keep your side of the street clean, you will know you did your best, you will gather more information about where you stand in that relationship, and you may have to engage a boundary. In the next several videos, we will explore common communication mistakes. If you've appreciated this video, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below. Feel free to request videos on topics you'd like to hear about. Also, please share on your social media. You never know when something you share might help someone else. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you again soon.